Warren Buffett once said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Work until you die? Well, we're definitely not doing that. And that is why I've created Life of Dividends.
And this is our dividend portfolio update for trading week ending April 11th, 2025. Let's get started with the week over week comparison. As you see here, last week, the trading week ending April 4th, 2025, we had a portfolio balance of $9,084.32. And this week, being the trading week ending April 11th, 2025, the portfolio is up slightly to $10,184.86. Last trading week, our portfolio consisted of the following. We had 5 shares of Misty, 100 shares of PLTY, 1,142 shares of Coney, 202 shares of ULTY, and 204 shares of TSLY. Now this week we have quite a bit of changes due to the market conditions. As you see there, we no longer have MSTY, and in just a minute I'll explain why. So we currently have 100 shares of PLTY, 1,142 shares of Coney, 302 shares of ULTY, and 215 shares of TSLY. Buying power. Our current buying power at the end of the week for trading week ending April 11, 2024 is $17,914.27, of which we have used $7,239.84 of that margin. And as previously mentioned in the other videos before this one, we are keeping our buying power limit to 30% of the margin used, or using 30% of our margin total, which by using the $7,239.84, we are currently using 28.8% of our available margin. We currently have a amount remaining to be used is 1.2%, or $306.39. And as you can also see, we have a low risk margin with a buffer of 44.15%, as you see there. So we're still operating fine. However, we did get a margin warning this week, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. All right, so our dividend payouts this week included MSTY and ULTY. As you see there, the dividend for 300 shares of MSTY, the dividend declared was $1.34, giving us a total dividend payout for MSTY of $400.68. As for ULTY, we had 300.7696 shares, and the dividend declared was 0.0822 cents per share, giving us a dividend payout of $24.72. Now, as you guys who have been, keeping track of Life with Dividends, our dividend payout for ULTY has been increasing every week because we are adding just on average about 100 shares each week. And we do see that the dividend declared is down by a cent and some millicents, I guess, but that's down, and hope it will go back up to the 9 and 10 cent range. But again, our dividend for ULTY has still increased, even with the market fluctuations and what's going on in the market sentiment, to $24.70. Okay, so let me tell you what happened to MSTY, or what I like to call my MSTY play of the week. Now, I would say since earlier this month, I had been accumulating MSTY little by little and using the margin to do so. I was able to begin adding MSTY at a price per share of, it got as low as $16.93. So I began building my MSTY position, and then when they announced the declared dividend for MSTY, I added an additional 250 shares because I wanted to try to get closest to about a $500 payout for my dividends this week as possible. So I did add an additional 250 shares, and I did use margin to purchase them, which put me way over my self-imposed margin limit of 30%. And here's why. I purchased a total of 300 shares of MSTY. The average price per share was $20.21. The total cost, or the margin that I used, was $6,061.99. Now, when they declared the dividend of $1.34 per share, that gave me a dividend payout of $400.68. Now, I waited on X date as well, which was Thursday and Friday, to see if MSTY would recover the dividend payment from the NAV. And sure enough, it began to go up with the increase in Bitcoin and market sentiment. And I was hopeful that I would be able to at least sell the 300 shares for the same amount that I purchased. But it just never got really over that $20 mark. It kind of, stayed between the range of $20.05, and then it would go back to $19.87, and it just went back and forth all day. And so I was hopeful throughout the trading, the morning trading until the regular trading session ended. And then I still, remain to be hopeful even in after hours trading that we could get up to $20.21 at least, so I could sell, flat or even. Unfortunately, we were not able to do that, so I did sell 300 shares of Misty at $19.87, and I recouped $5,960.77, which went directly back to the margin. Right now, that is a loss of 0.34 cents per share, a loss in dollars of $101.22. Now, keep in mind, I was paid a total dividend of $400.68. If we minus out the loss of $101.22, that would give us an overall total dividend gain of $299.46. And if you add the ULTY dividend of $24.72, our total dividend payout for this week was a total of $324.18. Now, that $101.22 loss, I subtracted that from my dividend payout and paid that back to the margin. So we're still positive, or we still have a positive gain of $299.46. So this gets me to thinking. Now, at the end of the year, I'll have a loss, of $101.22, but I'll also show gains of $299.46. Now, if this would have been a position that I would have kept and not sold the shares, then I would only be showing at the end of the year a gain of $400.68. But this looks like a way to kind of offset your how can I say, your tax losses, or no, it's a tax loss, but at the same time it's going to offset your gains that are being reported as well. So I'm still walking away this week with, as I mentioned, $324.18 of money that my money made, and I didn't really have to do anything. I didn't have to do no work. I didn't have to clock in. It just went to work while I was asleep. So I'm wanting to get some feedback from you guys. Do you see the positiveness in a move like this? Because yeah, you took a loss, but you were able to pay that loss back out of your dividend gains, and really there's no impact because my margin is now back below the 30% as mentioned previously. My loss is offset by the $400 dividend gain, and we still made money this week. So I would like to hear in the comments or anybody in the Discord that I'm a part of, when you see this video, let me know what you think about this play of the week, and how we still benefit by taking a loss. It's kind of like, for example, if Best Buy bought a TV at cost, it cost them $500. If they sold it for $1,000, well, you still have to subtract the $500, but they made $500, so it's still cash positive. I think this is an awesome thing, and we may be on to at least for me, a new strategy of playing these monthly payers and even weekly payers, of being able to move in and out of them so that we don't have to experience all the market fluctuation during the week. We can just potentially wait until a dividend is declared, do our strategic math, and look at the market sentiment and see if it's something that is potentially recoverable, and run the play just like I did here. So let me know in the comments, give me some feedback about this, and if I'm doing the right thing or if you think I'm doing the wrong thing. Again, none of this is financial advice. I would just like your feedback as a fellow investor. So yeah, I was pretty happy about this, but I could possibly be wrong. If somebody can point that out to me, I'd appreciate it. Now, for the month of April 2025, we now have a total dividend payout of $977.07. This is money that we did not have to work for. Our money worked for us, and we now have just under $1,000 extra of income in our pocket. So yeah, it's a wonderful thing. And as well, for the whole year or year to date 2025, our total dividend payouts is $5,038.97. That's $5,000 of money I didn't have to clock in and get or work hard to get. It's my money working hard for me. $5,000. Now, what happens, and this is a question, what happens when this portfolio increases in the size of shares per position, making our dividends increase exponentially, let's say 10x? What will this portfolio look like at 10x? And your money's just working, and you're sleeping or vacationing or whatever it is you like to do. These are the possibilities that you and your calculator can draw up the play and see the benefit of how income dividend paying ETFs is nothing but positive cash flow that will positively impact your life. At least that's the way Life of Dividends sees it, and we're going to continue moving forward with this game plan because we are only seeing the benefits, and we like it. So that's it for Life of Dividends for the trading week ending April 11, 2025. Look forward to talking to you all next week, and we'll see what the market brings to us with the never-ending ups and downs and swings of what's going on economically in the world, what's going on politically, and what's going on in the stock market. Thanks for joining Life of Dividends this week, and you all be safe, be blessed, and most of all, stop working for money. Let your money work for you. That's not financial advice. For me, it's just common sense. And if you don't know, now you know. I'm with the Department of Common Sense. Let's go.